Hello and welcome to our International Youth Parliament training call. I'm Dr. Paula Fellingham and I welcome you, everyone who's watching live and those who are watching the replay later. And we were just talking about, we're going to have a presentation upcoming on how to be a magnificent speaker. When you're giving a presentation, how do you do it with excellence? And I'll be teaching that and others if we decide to do that, but I'm excited to look forward to that. And I'll send out that date. It'll be in about 2 weeks. We're not going to wait a whole month. And we'll be able to have that presentation because you asked for it. Because, you know, some of the young people who are on the calls, Madam Jackie, then they said, you know, we would like this. I think that was Kelly, right? And so I am just honoring you. And anytime you want to say, I'd love to have a training on this or that. We've talked about so many things, communicating well and leadership and negotiation and lots of things. But we would love your input and we want to be here for you and give you exactly what you need and what you want. So let us know. You've got our email addresses. And I want to honor Robin. She's on the call, and Jackie on the call, and so grateful to have them and so appreciative of the wonderful work that they are doing. So I'd like to introduce Marty. Marty Ward is our teacher today, and she's a magnificent human being. She works with young people and teaches them one of the most important values that you can have, and it starts with a C. What do you think it is? It's confidence. It's confidence. And, you know, no matter how young or how old you are, this is one of the things you want to have to be the most effective leader. You can't be a leader, the most effective leader, without that inner confidence. And her presentation today is called, I'm okay, you're okay. Or maybe it's you're okay, I'm okay. But works both ways. But we're so honored to have Marty Ward with us as our presenter today, and I'll turn the time right over to you, Marty.
Thank you. So what I want all of you to know today is that you are a gift to our world. That being you matters. Like my little friend up here is saying, being you matters. And as a leader and as a speaker and as a part of your community to inspire people to come out of poverty, they each must know that they matter, that who they are gives a gift to our world. And so I wanted to start by saying, you know, today I want you to get different skills that will help you to be able to feel more confident.
Marty, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh. I'm just checking and she's unmuted. She's not muted.
Well, it says mute on the screen.
Oh my gosh, she did.
There you go. There we go.
Okay.
About a sentence. I think we missed about a sentence.
About one sentence, Marty.
Oops, you're back on again. No.
Okay. So what I was saying is that the thing that I want you to know today is that being you matters. And that as my friend up here is saying it, being you matters. As a leader, as a community organizer, as people who are bringing others out of poverty, everybody needs to know why it is that they matter, so that they can believe in themselves and be able to make an offer to the community and to be able to monetize it. So I want you to start, we have to start where we are to get where we're going. And why this concept is so important is that, you know, many of us, we are such high achievers that we want to be somewhere else. We want to be ahead of where we actually are. And so we can demand a great deal of ourselves. But when we realize that we have to start where we are to get where we're going, well, then we can be more at peace and more at ease, just being who we are. And as we know, being authentic, being really you, being who you are, just as you are, I want you to know is enough. You see, it's not that we're not enough, and we can feel that particularly now in this time, but it's not that we're not enough. It's that we're not using the enough of who we are to live a satisfied life. And so it's helping yourself and those that you are working with in the community to have them realize that it's not that they're not enough. They can feel that if they're not educated, that they're not valuable. They can feel that if they aren't earning the right amount of money, that they're not valuable. They can feel that if they haven't had children and they want them, that they're not valuable. But that's how we can help them to start to be accepting of themselves and knowing that they are enough, just exactly as they are, and that each of them is a gift to our world. So I want you to today to consider that what we need to do to be able to move forward is to have compassion. And I talk about the compass of the heart. And if I can share my screen. The compass of the heart. So the compass of the heart begins with the C here, which is compassion. Which is compassion. And when we start with compassion, we can allow ourselves to give ourselves some space. You know, we all work so hard. We struggle. And what can happen is that we exhaust ourselves. We feel overwhelmed. And when we can have compassion for ourselves, be gentle with ourselves, then we're able to have more energy, more enthusiasm, more excitement, and be able to then come up with those new ideas of how can we get out of poverty? What can I help this particular person with to come up with? Once that they know that they are okay and that they can have compassion for themselves, then they can feel more energized and enthusiastic about what they want to do next. And then the next on the compass is about acceptance. It's about us accepting who we are, accepting that we are okay. It's about seeing us as being someone who, just as we are, has something to offer. And then what we want to look at is also about acknowledging who we are. So often we can be too humble, where we don't say, yes, this is who I am. And what we talk about in our program is about how talented, able, and gifted you are. We say, tag yourself for success. So when we're looking at this compass of the heart, and you know, we've all been told to love ourselves, right? Have you all been told to love yourself, believe in yourself, right? Well, I went from being worth over $1 million American dollars to having $7.41 in my bank account. And when I was going down through all of that amazingly fantastic experience, everyone kept saying to me, Marty, oh, just love yourself. Oh, come on, Marty, you can do it. Believe in yourself. And I kept thinking, of course, I know to do that, but how do you do that? No one ever taught me how to love myself, how to believe in myself. And so I figured out the how. What happened for me is I was running actually 4 or 5 businesses at the time. It's hard to believe, but I was. And I closed 4 of the businesses. And I kept my coaching business because that's who I am. And I went downstairs and I began to write the first book that I published. And I wrote for 12 straight hours. I couldn't stop. And I looked up and I went, oh, it's dark outside. And then I looked at the computer clock and I said, oh, it's midnight. It was as if that Mount Vesuvius had unleashed itself. And what it was my talents, my abilities, and my gifts had been unleashed. Right? My tags, as we call it. So talents, abilities, and gifts. And so by me unlocking my talents, abilities, and gifts, I was able to turn my life and my business around. And I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs to make money in their business and move forward. And so what I want you to start to do is really acknowledge how talented, able, and gifted you are. And to think about what is the real gift that you give. For instance, Paula, as just one of her many hundreds of talents, but as a leader, what her abilities would include are creative, inventive, imaginative, analytical, compassion, good listening, understanding. And so by combining those, what she does with her leadership is she inspires, motivates, brings people together, collaborates, has inspired people to become more than they ever have imagined when they began working with her. And so by looking at your gifts, right, and by them believing in themselves, then they're able to now take care of their families. So it's looking at the gift that you give and looking at it and asking yourself, well, let's see, you all are leaders. So think of your leadership skills. Think of what specifically each one of you, your specific leadership, where is your particular gift? Would someone be willing to share what their gift might be, their particular leadership skill?
And you'll need to unmute yourself if you're going to speak. Unmute.
Does anyone want to share, Paula?
Well, I can't tell. They just have to unmute themselves.
Who's somebody?
I'll break the ice.
Robin, thank you.
Yeah, I guess my particular leadership skill would be herding cats. I like to organize people and get things, going in the right direction and share tools for other people that get organized. And so that's one of my skills. I like to think that I also encourage.
You're an organizer. You're a planner. Okay.
I like to encourage others.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like to, boost others' morale, because I think if you feel good about yourself, you succeed even more.
Okay, so you boost morale.
And we've got Fatima. Did you want to unmute yourself?
There we go.
Yes, ma'am. Greetings to all. My one particular talent I love is that cheering up everyone. That's my special leadership quality.
Ah.
Everyone used to say. I used to cheer the kids and all. So I like a lot of cheer up classes and all.
Oh, that's wonderful.
When you cheer the children up, what is the gift of that?
She helps them be happy.
Positive.
And what's the gift of that?
Being happy, that they spread their happiness. It's contagious.
Positive.
She has a positive attitude.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what is the gift of that? I want you to really get it.
Mindset.
Okay, and if they have a better mindset, what's the gift of that?
I used to
Fatima? Say it again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm studying psychology, so I do internships on the basis of psychology. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Go ahead. I think her
Bad
internet.
dreams. Sorry.
So she's studying psychology, Marty, so that she's understanding these wonderful principles of truth about the positive mindset, the positive attitude. She helps cheer other people up.
Okay, but when you cheer people up, what are they then able to do?
Yeah, I used to add some music on while taking classes. So they used to be happy, they used to be positive. Especially I take classes on disaster management teams and all. They may have, the kids may be faced with disasters, like they may be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, PSTD. So they wish cheers and they want positive energy. So I give some positive energy through the cheer up classes and all. I cheer and encourage them so much.
So you give them hope, you give them hope and possibility.
Yes.
Okay. Do you see when you, instead of saying happy or positive, when you really get it and you say, oh, I give children hope and possibility. Ah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Okay.
You give them a feeling, a sense that they can go forward. You give them that faith in themselves, right?
And the nuances of the word, Marty, I just need to let you know, most of these young people are speaking in their second and third language when they're speaking English.
They're doing wonderful.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Okay.
sometimes the nuances of the words in English aren't exactly the same as they are in other languages. So
Okay,
exactly.
thank you.
the heads up.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I have a comment. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the chat at the bottom, but Taryn Jolly has requested to speak next. She's got her video turned off, but she wants to speak.
Please.
Perfect. Go ahead, Taryn. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I would just like to add for the leadership, I'm quite a great collaborator. So I have a wonderful way of being able to connect the right people and bring them on board for the same vision and same project, same mission. So I think you could put that under collaboration. I'm not sure what word that would be.
That's wonderful.
And Taryn, if we're all collaborating, working together with the same vision and the same mission, what is the gift that you're giving them?
Team, unity, uniting together.
And what is the gift of that?
Strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers, building together.
Okay, so you can build a bigger organization. You can have a bigger impact in the community. You can, by working together, you can create an energy and a momentum.
Yes, yes. And what one doesn't have, the other always has. So by bringing multiple people on board, everybody has a certain something that they bring to the team.
And then by them expressing it, what happens for them?
Hello.
That's a good question. I like the way your brain works. You get really deep.
They feel that they matter, right? When you're a part of a team and you get to participate, right? You can believe, oh, I matter. Wait, look at my contribution I made to the team. Oh, I count. I matter. I'm important.
Sure, I never thought about it like that. Thank you.
Well, that's why I know I sound like I'm being whatever I sound like I'm being, but I'm doing it because I really want you to get the special gift that you give. I want you to honor and value that.
Yeah.
So I'm helping you to hone it down so that now you know you're not just a good collaborator. One time there was a meeting and a woman put her hand up and I described her as a collaborator, and it changed her life. She went back to the meeting when she realized that. She thought she was just a team member and a participator, and she just, da-da-da-da-da. And she went, I am a collaborator. And she went back, she got a raise, and she changed the way in which she interacted at meetings because she understood her particular value. So that's why I'm helping you to go deeper.
Yes, that was great. Thank you so much.
Augustine has a comment. Thank you, Taryn. Augustine.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to say that, like, cheering people up, team members, makes team members to feel like belong. it makes them have the passion and also to be more committed, like to work towards the same cause, just like what she was saying.
They like to walk the world.
No, like cheering people up, team members up, like it makes them feel belong to the same cause you all are fighting for.
Right.
Yeah.
And when we feel that we belong, how do we feel?
Yeah. We feel that we are part of the same project, or like we are all fighting to achieve the same goal. So whatever impact or whatever glory we are having, we feel that we are part of that particular history.
We
So
feel
that makes us
like part of a family. Like this group here is a wonderful family where you feel you belong to each other, that you're there for each other, you're supporting each other. And when you feel that you belong, because when you feel you're left out, well, you know what that's like. I was bullied much of my life and I was left out. And so that's one of the reasons I do this work around the world, is that when you feel left out, you feel that you don't matter. You feel that you're not important. You feel that your ideas aren't something to be considered. But when you belong and you feel that you matter and you feel that connection with the same mission, hope and possibility and boosting morale, well, now you can feel more energized. And this is what's so important with people in poverty, is where they're believing that they don't have a gift, but you see if you help them to really look at their gift. What I teach when I'm in Africa, because everyone in Africa, when I say, what's your talent? The women are all gonna say, we're cooks, right? And many of you may be cooks. But when cooking was handed out by God, I didn't get that one. I am not a cook, right? So I want you to value something that seems so ordinary to you, that cooking is that's a gift that you have, that you give yourself and your family. By you being creative, inventive, and imaginative, and adding spice and this and that, and making that a meal where people love to come and sit and enjoy and eat together and share ideas, that you provide the family, not just food, but you provide an atmosphere and a place. So no matter how seemingly small it appears, it is a gift. When I speak with the women in Africa, one woman said, I didn't go to school and I never thought that I mattered. But it doesn't matter that she went to school or not, because she has been running a family and she has been taking care of her children and her family for her whole life. And once she realized that schooling was not what defined her, but that she defined herself by her talents, abilities, and gifts, that then she could leave and feel more confident and secure and see her value. Does anybody have a question on that?
That's good.
Okay. So,
Kelly was going to say something. Kelly?
Kelly?
Yeah, basically, I'm sorry for disturbing, first of all. In line with what Ms. Ward was saying, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, I was wondering to be more at ease with the person self. I mean, whether the person has gifts in life, if basically it happened that the financial situation that the world is imposing on people's life is affecting the person's mind in a way that even though he has gifts, he cannot, provide for himself, provide for families, and be more happy in communities, because the life implies spending of money. Will there be another solution for that person to regain confidence?
Okay. Can somebody help me with what he said?
Sorry, I'll repeat.
Your internet.
Yeah, that breaks up.
I got a little bit. He was talking about how if you're having financial difficulty and you feel like you can't support people that you care about, that affects your self-esteem.
Yes.
That's part of what he said.
Okay, so the thing is that what that's why this is also important, is because whether or not you can provide for your family does not define who you are. What defines who you are is your talents, abilities, and gifts that were given when you were born. When you came in, we were given 3 things by God. We were given our talents, abilities, and gifts, which is our soul's signature. And we were given our feelings, which tell us where we are in the moment and what to do next. And we were given these fabulous bodies that beam information out and bring information in. And within that, we were given everything that we need. Now, we want things. He wants to provide for his family, but that he can't right now does not lessen his value. It's looking inside them and seeing, what can I do? What is possible right now? Rather than getting into the shame of feeling that I'm not valuable because I can't give to my family. There was a pastor who had a school, and he was having trouble having people be able to have their children, their parents pay for their children's education. And what I helped him to see is that let parents do what they can do. Let them bring some sweet potatoes. Let them bring something that they can give to the school. Have them come and clean the school. Have them come and do something so that they feel that they can respect themselves. So with this person, you could help him find what he can do. Because what I know is that how incredibly amazing you are all problem solvers. You know, I'm always so impressed with what children and people in Africa and around the world are able to come up with, right? You all can figure out how to solve problems. So what problem can he solve for his neighbor? What problem, what is his gift? If he had money, what would he be doing? And is there something that he could do that could help bring in a little bit of money, little bit of money, little bit of money, so that he can feel good about who he is? But the important thing is that he values himself no matter what happens, that he matters. Okay?
That's good. That's good.
Okay. So you want to acknowledge yourself. You want to really value who you are, because that's how you can fall in love with yourself. This is how you can believe in yourself, because you're basing it on the actual fact of who you are. Not because people tell you you're nice or this or that, but because you actually know inside of you, no, I am creative. Everyone is creative, inventive, imaginative, right? Everyone comes in with that. And how you express it is that's how you express you in this world. And so that's what to value. So acknowledge. And the other, the last of this is connection. So when you have, connection. Right? So when you have compassion, this was acceptance, acknowledgement, you can be connected. And most importantly, you want to be connected to you. You want to connect to yourself so that you have more to give others. When you have compassion, acceptance, and acknowledgement of you, then you can feel connected to who you are. And then you can relate to others. The children, your adult relationships, right? More effectively. And so the other thing that I mentioned that we come in with is our emotions. And our emotions, our emotional intelligence is what helps us to be able to manage in each moment. So I have a unique way, as you see, of understanding things. And what we're going to do today is start a new fad. F-A-D-D. It's the compass of feelings. And the new fad is to actually see that feelings are your best friends. all our lives and for millions and millions of years, we've been taught that feelings are something to be run away from, to get rid of those bad, what seem to be bad feelings. But I want you to consider that would a creator ever create something on purpose that needed to be gotten rid of? Would anybody create something that didn't work? Like, let's say a car. Would the creator of the car put everything in except, and then have something in it that every time you turned the key, it didn't work? No. Your creator didn't create anything inside of you either that needed to be gotten rid of. Everything is something that we need to see its value. And so your feelings are those as well. And what you can come to understand is that when we actually allow ourselves to feel our feelings, then we can move forward. So for instance, the feeling that I'll talk about today would be anger, frustration, anything along those lines. Anybody been a little angry and frustrated lately with how things are going out there, right? It's hard not to be. And so when you have your feeling of anger, all right, so you're feeling angry. And Kelly, when you feel angry, how do you feel? If you're willing to share.
Basically, when I feel angry, I just take time to, I walk, I go for a walk, relax, and sometimes I pray and meditate in order to be what is in my mind.
I was saying, how do you feel though when you feel angry? You feel frustrated?
Yeah.
All right, frustrated. And when you feel frustrated, how do you feel? Who'd like to share? Karen, would you share?
Yes, sorry, could you please repeat that, Ms. Ward?
When you feel frustrated, how do you feel?
I become very irritable, and I find that I kind of shut down, and I
You shut
almost
down. All right.
go into my mind, yes.
Shut down. Okay, and when you shut down, Augustine, would you be willing to share?
Sure, I'm here.
When you shut down, what do you feel?
I become so sad. I just have to cool off.
You feel sad?
Mhm.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Hey, you feel sad. All right, perfect. So what I'm showing you here is that really feelings are nothing but to awaken you to who you are and where you are in the moment. And anger at its base is sad. And when you can realize that, the next time you get angry, you'll be able to unravel it. You'll be able to manage it much more easily. So everybody think of a time that they were angry. I'm sure you can think of one. And if you think about it, weren't you sad? Were you sad that you didn't feel heard? Were you sad that you didn't feel respected? Did you feel sad that you felt left out? Do you see that that's generally in that, something along those lines, right? Disregarded. You might have felt disregarded. And if you think about it, when you see a child who's angry, if you can go to them and say, wow, you must be so sad right now. Did you feel that I didn't hear you? And the child, yes, you didn't listen to me and you didn't, right? And when you can help them to unravel that in the moment, then you can get beyond anger very quickly. You see, because that's the only reason we feel. We feel to awaken ourselves to who we are. Because what's the opposite of anger? Gerald, would you share? What's the opposite of anger? Not sure you can hear me. Or who would like to answer?
Unmute, Gerald, unmute. There you go.
Okay. Repeat the question again.
What is the opposite of anger?
It could be happiness. You're okay. You have no problem.
Okay, and if so, the opposite of anger can be feeling okay, right? The
Yeah,
opposite
I
of
may
anger,
time it briefly.
okay,
Yeah.
right? So, and what is the opposite of frustrated?
The opposite of frustrated is when I may time it to be, it's not one joint word, but is having a stable mind, like you are stable, you are peaceful, so you have no problem, something disturbing you.
How would in charge be? Would that work for you? In charge?
Yes.
In charge. Right, in charge. And what's the opposite, Taryn, of shut down?
The opposite of shutdown would be to connect, to engage.
Alive, right? Alive.
Open. Yeah.
Alive, open, connect. And that goes back to the compass of the heart. You see, where we want to connect. And so when you realize that you're shut down, then you can say, where am I shut down? And figure out what it is that's shutting you down, right? Maybe when you go to sad and you realize that you felt not heard, not respected. Right? What's the opposite, Margaret, of not heard or not respected?
Margaret, you still there? A little hard to see.
I know. I see her. Nida? Nida? You want to share? No? Yes? Fatima, you want to share?
Being accepted.
Nida's on.
Nida's on.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
What is the opposite of not heard?
Heard, okay. Not heard mean opposite heard and respected.
It's heard and accepted, right?
Yeah,
so,
respected.
Heard and accepted.
Yeah.
So what you can do is when you know that you're angry and you go, where am I sad? And you say, and you say to your friend, this morning, when I spoke to you and asked you for what I wanted, you didn't hear what I said because what I had asked you for was, right? Instead of this can help at home when you're with a spouse, right? Who comes home and you're angry at them because they didn't get what you asked for at the market. And then instead of having an argument, you can go, oh, okay. And you say, honey, I asked you for 6 kilograms of rice and you brought home beans. You didn't hear me this morning, but I love you so much that I will cook the rice tonight, right? It just helps you to be able to decode your feelings. So first you feel your feeling, then you align with your feeling. And then what we did is we decoded our feeling. And then you can decide what you want to do. So this is a new fad. Feel, align, decode, decide. So you can start a new fad. And in America or English, what fad mean is like a new trend, a new way of seeing things. And so by seeing your feelings as your friends rather than as your enemy and connecting with them and transforming them, then you won't be stuck and struggling. You see, what I did when I went through all of my money is I was running from all of these feelings and many more. And I kept running and running. And what I did is when I stopped and I began to look inside myself and to see who I was and to honor and value those feelings as awakening me to more of who I am, then I was able to transform them and be able to break through procrastination and being stuck and struggling. And that's what we can do every day by aligning and being in FAD. And look at the opposite of shutdown is alive, open, and connected. So how exciting is that to feel yahoo, right? So any questions about that? Oh, okay. All right. And when we have compassion, when we use the compass of the heart and we use the compass of our feelings, we can be kind. You know, it's one thing to talk about being kind, but so often we're so hard on ourselves. Oh, yes, Gerald.
Yeah, thank you, Mate, for your kind teaching. I have a question about anger. We community leaders who have faced a lot of challenges, especially with the families, whereby we have seen anger has actually caused a lot of problems, more so violence in the communities. So I would like to know from you, how should people control their anger to preventatively in a way to avoid maybe murdering or maybe violence or maybe because it is a very big challenge in our communities whereby we have, for example, in this lockdown, we have seen many families or couples fighting every day.
Yes.
And ostensibly we have, consequently, we have seen these people, one of them losing lives. So how should they be able to tame or control their anger to prevent the worst situation?
So thank you for the question and blessings to your community, Gerald. I know that you had a funeral today, so blessings.
Yes.
It's not about controlling your anger. It's about transforming your anger. Okay. As you see, you can't control, there are ways in which people try to control it, right? But it's still there. And particularly when, and I do a whole training on men and women and understanding them in a new way that I could happy to teach when the time is right. But for now, it's about transforming your anger and the man realizing that he's sad. He's sad because he can't provide for his family. He feels inadequate, not good enough. He feels like a failure. For men, providing for their family is the way they are hardwired by God. They want to take care of women. They want to be there for women. And they want to be able to protect them. And right now they can't protect them or their children from the virus. They're not earning a living because they've been shut down and they can't go to work. They're feeling inadequate and not good enough. And when they fall into that, then they can take it out because they don't know how to manage that really bad feeling inside. But two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. So if I want to put this marker here, I have to move this. I have to move the eraser. I can't put the marker where the eraser is. And what happens is that when we don't transform the anger and we just try to push it down, right? We just push down and we pretend and we do things and it's like this and we're not really managing it. The first thing you have to do is feel it. You have to feel the anger first to make the space to be able to fill yourself with excitement, joy, enthusiasm, acceptance. So you have to feel it, and feeling it is grieving or crying or whatever needs to be done to feel what it feels like for this man to not feel that he can provide for his family, to feel how ashamed he feels, how bad he feels, and let him feel that. And then there's space for him to be able to go into his thinking brain to be able to come up with solutions. When we're in anger, we're in the brain on the back of your head, that bump on the back of your head, the limbic brain, where it's fight, flight, appease, or freeze. So when we're in there, when you're in your limbic brain, which is only there to protect you, and it does a great job at that, but you can't think. So when you're, right, when you're like that, you're not here, you're back here. And it truly is as simple as taking a deep breath. And if you do that, you'll feel this part of your head all wake up. And when it wakes up, now you can say, okay, I feel terrible, darling. I feel terrible that I can't provide for you. I feel so bad about that. Let's you and I work together. Let's you and I come together and figure out what we can do together. I love you, sweetheart. I want to be able to provide for you. And now you can take that feeling and transform it into something else. Does that help, Gerald?
I'd like to add.
Yes, has helped.
Robin?
I'd like to add an old saying. I mean, I'm old, so I don't know when it came out, but the old saying, when you're angry, you should count to 10. I mean, during the counting to 10 gives you a chance to actually sit down and say, okay, what am I angry about? And go through the process of discerning and analyzing your true feelings.
Right. That's why great grandma was right. Yes, Paula.
Yes, one of the things that I love what you both said, one of the things I teach is anger management, and I've never heard it an anger transformation, but I love that. And every word, every action begins with a thought. And Gerald is in the position of going out and teaching in these villages. And sometimes it might be a man upset because he can't provide for his family. There are a myriad of reasons why people might be angry. So the very first thought comes in. The very first thought, and we know, talking about your feelings, Marty, we know when we're just starting to get angry. And you know that feeling. So as soon as the thought comes in, you absolutely, what do? You know this, Gerald. You label it and you just, I'm angry. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling conflict. Whatever you're really feeling, you express it. And that works like a big stop sign. And you just say it. I am feeling, and then say it. And if it's angry, it's angry. Then the second step that really works is exactly what you just said, Robin. And the best thing when you're very angry is to just release yourself, get away from the position that you were in. Next to the person, you just say, I need a little bit of time. And then you just walk away. You leave wherever you were and get yourself, distance yourself just for a minute while you sing, count, talk to yourself, give yourself self-talk. You know, it's just not like me to be so angry. I'm usually a kind person. And then just like, what am I angry about? What is this really about? Like you had said, Marty. And so the first step is just to label it. I'm angry. I'm feeling frustrated. I need a little bit of time. And then you go. Then the third part is the key. Back in. You do not blame. You don't you. But you say, hey, this is the challenge without blaming, and I be part of the solution. And like you said, how can we both work this out together? So you label it, you distance yourself while you get control, you come back and you're part of the solution, and you figure it, you focus on solutions, not on blaming. You just don't blame. That'll take you back into that negative spiraling anger. So I know those 3 steps work, and I just like to offer them at this time.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. Okay. So being kind to yourself first. What we have
about 4 more minutes, sweet girl. I'm sorry, I should have said that before. We're coming up to the hour.
Okay, wonderful. So it's really, today is about you believing in you. You understanding who you are and the very beautiful gift that you are to the world based on who you are, and know how talented, able, and gifted you are. And then for you to have compassion for yourself. Compassion starting where you are to get where you're going. Having acceptance for where you are today. Knowing that you are okay exactly as you are. So I'm going to do a fun thing. Everybody make the okay sign. Right? Make the okay sign. And say, I am okay. I am okay, right? And when you do this with children, you know, they can learn that even when things get tough, they can go, wait a minute, I am okay. And we have them do that so that they know that they are okay. But we can know first that we are okay, because as you are more and more of you, as you more and more see your value, then you're going to be able to give this out to the world, to the people and the communities that you work with. So an understanding that your feelings are your best friends, there to awaken you more of who you are, to transform them and to get them so that you can use those feelings to make a healthy decision in what action to do moving forward, as Paula was saying, so that you can have a way to move forward that is good for you as well as the other person. So it has been my pleasure and joy to be with you today, and so appreciate you and this opportunity. And so if anyone wants to get in touch with me, Paula, I think you put some of my information out there. If I send you my information, if they'd like to talk to me or reach out to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's give her a hand, jazz hands. We're so appreciative. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I wish you could hear them all clapping really loudly, because they would. This was a wonderful presentation. What I love, Marty, is that it's so practical. And this is what we need, especially during this time when, you know, we don't need theories. We need, how do we deal with our feelings right now, today? How do we do that? And you've so many good ideas.
I'm so glad.
So
Well,
much. Absolutely.
Your
So,
work,
yes.
all work comes together, and collaboratively we have a way.
Yes, collaboratively, we absolutely not only have a way, Marty, but that's the key. When we come together in love and compassion for each other that you mentioned, and we truly care, because we love each other, and they all know that Robin and I and Jackie, we all love them, truly love them.
Wonderful.
I'd like to close with something that I told you months ago, but I'd like to close with it today because it is so applicable to this lesson. And a thing that a man named Kent Keith, he wrote, and Mother Teresa in Calcutta, India, she had two things on her wall: the picture of Jesus Christ and this saying that she read. She said, I read it every day, and it helped me. And it helped her deal with her feelings, with other people's emotions, because it's not just you dealing with your own emotions, it's how do you deal with the emotions of people in your world. So here's how it goes. I'd love to have you really, really, really listen right now. Mother Teresa read this every day. It's a little bit long. Stay with me. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you're kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you're honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it's between you and God. It never was between you and them. anyway. May you all be blessed and strengthened during this tumultuous, tender, troubling time. And may you be the lights for others, filled with love, filled with light, and shine that light brightly, as I know you do, as our precious guardians of tomorrow. We love you, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye. You can say goodbye to each other. I love this part.
Bye-bye.
Say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you for coming. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Bye.
much.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm going to stop the recording.